Connie Love here. I need to explain the video of my daughter a little more in depth. So, at 6:30 in the morning, we get up. Maybe I go in the kitchen, start a pot of coffee, and maybe start fixing her breakfast. She sits by the door and she does, I kind of tell her to not sit by the door, and I don't know why sitting by the door in her own house can affect her behavior, but sometimes it does. Then, after about maybe 20 minutes, getting my coffee together, getting my cream and sugar in there, she'll start screaming. And her facial expressions will change. And she'll go to the dining room window and look out. Like there's something out there that she can see that nobody else can see. She's had home health aides that I've seen her do this several times, and I've always had the hardest time in the world trying to explain to them what was wrong, what had her so upset. She's had family members that have seen her react the way you heard, and it's kind of hard to explain to them what is really going on. I had a hard time understanding why she was shaking when I touched her little head and felt her shaking from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet. I mean, literally shaking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, something's going on. I didn't have a clue what it was. But it was some form of an electrical shock, maybe directed by directed energy weapon that caused her nervous system to react in such a violent way. And then I couldn't figure out why her facial expressions changed. Why, like, her eyes can close, totally closed. She's going through the house and her eyes are completely closed. She's just screaming to the top of her lungs, and I didn't understand it. I go back to my research and I find out that they can hypnotize your children. They can hypnotize your children through the TV, through some kind of music. They can look out, your child can look out the window and there can be something that triggers their hypnosis, or they can be hypnotized and just looking for like a little ding or a little clap or something that triggers them back into the hypnosis stage is happening to our children. So she goes through that. And then she starts knocking over chairs. I don't have any chairs she can break anymore. They're all broke. She starts knocking over chairs. So then I go right back into my research again to try to figure out why she's doing that. And then I go to the Bible. And it says the devil is out to steal, kill, and destroy anything in your life. And what does the devil want our children to do more than anything? He wants them to be bad and evil and destructive because he loves it when there is no peace or happiness in our children. So he turns our children into something very vicious. That way he'll know that he's got our children, but that's something she went through as well. And the teeth part, it says she grabs my hand one day after this. It usually lasts about sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's even lasted up to 30 minutes. And she has grabbed my hands and put it on her side of her jaw. So I'm like, I wonder what that means. Now I'm trying to put the puzzle together. They can install a toothache. They can make your tooth hurt. I have tried to record what she might be hearing, and I did get a couple recordings one time. And inside the brain, due to the voice, the skull through audio, tick tock sounds like a clock. Tick tock, tick tock, and that alone can drive your brain nuts. Now, all of these technology that they're using on our children are real. And then and after everything is done and she starts winding down, I noticed that she becomes very, very thirsty. So then she wants to go to the sink and get water and tired. Because what it does is it emotionally, physically, and mentally exhausts her. You think of all the energy that is put into doing that and being like, she wakes up and it's like she comes back to her normal self. And it's like she don't even remember what she did. She'll come and give me a finger kissy because she doesn't remember, because the course of the time that this is going on, she's not herself. She's like blacked out into what they're doing, the technology portion of it, and she doesn't understand why it's happening to her. So a lot of that, I just wanted to explain everything that went into that video. She screams a lot, different tones. It's high-pitched screaming, low-pitched screaming, and the irritability screaming, and the fright, I'm scared screaming, and they're all kind of involved in the same thing. If you listen to the video, you can see the range of her screaming. It goes into I'm scared, or it goes into oh my goodness, or it goes into I am so angry. So it's like a mixture of different forms of screaming that she did, and I wanted to share it. And if you have any children that are targeted, you may be going through the same thing with them. Don't judge them, because it's nothing they did wrong. Don't try to run and get something for them, because it's nothing they did. It's something that's being done to them. God grant all of us the serenity to accept that we all may be targeted individuals under human experimentation. And God grant us the courage as mothers and fathers and grandmothers and aunties and children to be able to deal with it one day at a time. Subscribe and like. Connie Love.